come and get it.
Welcome to the Mr. GMT show. Hope you guys are doing well. What's happening, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, and far and few between? I am Mr. GMT, and this is the Mr. GMT show. Hope everybody is well and having fun. Starting off their day, ending their day, just about to go to bed, all the rest of it. We're here to cater for all time zones and everything. So my name is, like I said, Mr. GMT, and this is the Mr. GMT show featuring the Oz Boys that is part of my community, which actually helps me with these shows, which I really do appreciate and grateful for by all means. So, and all you guys that are in the chat as well and join us in this awesome little show of mine. It's nothing special, it's nothing big, but it's just for us to have a bit of fun before we start our weekend. And boys and girls, I'm going to introduce my panel, and here we go. First up, we have the one and only, respectably late. How you going, mate?
I am here, alive, awake, and well. Thank you.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Awesome. And everything been doing well? You've been well? Your weekend? What have you been? We'll catch up. We'll catch up to the rest in a second. What's going on? We'll introduce the rest of the panel, and we won't let them sitting in the back there like second-class citizens. You know what I mean? They get a bit upset and annoyed. Next, we have our my good friend that I've met recently. He's almost on time. How are you, my man?
How are you guys?
How's things, brother? How's everything going?
Mate, everything is fantastic this end.
Oh, fantastic to hear, my man. Fantastic. And from across the pond, we have another guest of ours. Is a great man. He's humble as is, and I won't hold him back there much longer. His name is Gary. How you going, Gary?
Hey, Mr. GMT. Good to join you.
How's things, boys? Everything going well? Doing fine?
Yeah, all good here.
Awesome. We'll start with you respectively. How's your week been? What's been happening? Fill us in. This is just I know you've got an exciting life, so it's nice to hear what you have to do, what you've been up to.
It is. I've been travelling. I'm 6 hours northwest of Sydney at the moment on a big dance and country festival, and I'm doing some work emceeing, DJing, and providing some entertainment for the hundreds of people that are a part of this event. It's one of the largest dance festivals of its type in our country, and we've got people from all over Australia representing, not from your state, unfortunately, Mr. GMT, but from
that
Western
doesn't surprise
Australia.
Me, man. Who the hell would want to come from where I am? No one wants to leave this joint. They don't want to come in. They don't want to leave.
We got them from Western Australia, Queensland, Victoria, Australian Capital Territory, and we also have some international guests from Singapore, Holland, and America coming to join us for this weekend. And it finishes about now, so I've got a bit of an early mark to come back and join the show. But I've got a few more days left for me up here, and it's busy, but I'm looking forward to spending some time with the community and having a chat about our very interesting topic today.
Yes, the very interesting topic. Thank you for bringing that up. Today we're targeting what actually got us into this crazy hobby of ours, and it's nice to get to know the people that you're always amongst and hear their stories and what they have to say about what actually got them into collecting their fine timepieces. So almost on time. How are you, my man? Everything doing well? What's been happening?
Mate, just getting the house in order, doing what we can. We've got a big weekend with the kids with all their sports. So it's been flat chat tonight because we've got so much on tomorrow with the kids with all their sports we've got to run around for. So just getting that sorted before we jump on the show and then head to bed. So,
beautiful. Don't worry, I'm ready to hit the hay myself. I try to do it as late as, like, I try and find the right time. It's very hard to find the good time to suit everyone, but it's a learning curve. We can do it a bit earlier next time, but it just ended up, I decided to do a little bit later, trial that out and see if this time works for people. So we'll just see. It's a work in progress, as they say. But
Mate,
it's awesome to have you here, my man. Thank you for joining
great
us.
to be here, mate. The time's fantastic for me anyway, because I do night shift, but I've got to try to fit in with the rest of the family occasionally. So
Yeah, that's awesome. That is awesome. So okay, Gary, my man, across the pond. How are you, brother? You waiting for your wife getting a haircut? What's she doing? Is she at the hair salon? What's happening?
No, she's able to drive herself now, so she's gone off on her own. I don't have to drive her about. I don't have to tax her anymore, so that's good. She's
beautiful.
Back on her own four wheels.
Very nice, very nice. So what are you doing today? You got much planned on for today?
Very little. I'm pretty much finished up for the day. It's 20 to 3 here now in Ireland, so I usually try to get finished up on a Friday as near lunchtime as possible, so it's worked out pretty good today, and your timing's perfect for me today.
Oh, that works out well. I'm glad. See, it's very hard because there's so many different time zones. It's so hard to try and get it right, but I'm glad that it worked in for you, man. I'm glad that you can join us.
It can't please everybody.
Oh, no, you can't, and a lot of people can join, can't join, do join, don't want to join, but everyone's entitled to their own thing, I'm fine with that. I'm just doing it for us to just
works out pretty
unwind.
Good for me. Most of the streams from the guys that are in America are in the middle of the night for me, so it's very seldom I can ever join those, but you guys are spot on for me today.
Oh, I'm glad. That puts a smile on my face, that's for sure, let's just quickly go through. We've only got a few people on the in the chat today, and we've got Muhammad Ali. How you going, brother? Love you, man. He's a big supporter of all the channels, man. He's such a charming fellow. Also, we've got quicker than drawing. Another good friend of mine. He's always I've known him for quite a while now, and he's such a humble and awesome bloke, really good family man. I saw a lot of his Instagrams. He's such a humble guy. Really do love him. Thank you for joining us, Quicker Than Drawing. Logan Hall, another friend of mine. He's a champ. Hey, you brother, how's things? Everything doing well, my man? You're a fucking legend. I've known you since I've started this or being part of this awesome hobby. Calvin, how you going, brother? Scotch Down Under. Hey, Scotch, how you going? Do you want the link? I'll drop off the link just in case you want to join us. There you go, brother. I hope you're doing well as well, my man. If you can join us, that'd be great. If you can't, that's all good. I hope your moves. I think I know you're moving, so I don't think you'll be able to join us. But I am having a Scotch, just the one today, just to relax and enjoy the show and see what we come up with. But in saying that. Today this is pretty much just it's going to be a short show. It's just about just us expressing exactly what what got us into this hobby and what keeps us here as well, I suppose, what really, drives us to keep going and enjoying this awesome hobby. But in saying that, I'll start off and I'll explain to you exactly how I got into it. And funny enough, I've been interested in watches since I was about a little wee boy, which I would have been about 5 years old. And we used to go into a toy shop, and they used to have these hologram watches, which you could buy in either different varieties, and they've always got a different time, so you can flip it and it'll have a different time and a picture on it at the same time. It was such a wonderful thing to have, and I always would go in there and I'd get a different one each time. And as I grew up, I was really fascinated. But across the road, there was always a jewelry shop that had watches in, obviously. And in saying that, I always would point over there and I said to my mother, Mum, one day I want you to get me one of these watches. I really want a nice watch. And she'd say to me, one day, son, one day. Sure enough, we went over there one time. It would have been probably about a year, maybe a little bit longer. But yeah, we went over there and she finally got me a watch. Now, I don't remember the watch. It was very young at the time, but I do remember me actually getting one. And as I was getting older, I actually was still into watches, obviously. And the watch that I always wanted when I was in school was the watch that I've actually got on right now. So I'll put and the reason why
Wow.
I've got the watch. Okay. All right. I'll put myself onto full screen so you guys can see it. It's nothing crazy. It's a Casio. And it's the calculator watch. This is the watch that I always wanted when I was a kid at school, and the watch that actually, kept me interested in watches through school. But in saying that, I never got one. I always wanted one, and I used to say to my mother, I want this watch, but she never got me one. I don't know, she couldn't find it, but she actually ended up getting me a solar powered watch. So it looked pretty much like this, but instead of having the actual buttons, it was solar powered, which was pretty cool, and I actually love that watch. And as I was getting older, we went to Singapore, ended up getting a gold watch. It was nothing special, and I just kept on. We weren't a very rich family, so we just whatever I could afford, whatever we could do, I actually was purchasing. And then when I got my own job and was working, I ended up getting hey, Flash of Time. How you going, brother? How's things? Hope you're doing good, brother. Thank you for joining us. Yeah, so as I got older, obviously, I got married. My best man got me a kinetic watch. It was a Seiko Kinetic back then. It was like an automatic. I'm not sure if it has automatic battery. I wasn't sure how it worked, but yeah, I had that for a long time until I smashed it, and then that went to the bin. But then, as time went on, obviously, I got into the Swiss watch game, and I was always asking my cousin, because she was in the jewelry shops and stuff like that, and I was asking, what's the difference as I was getting older? What's the difference between a Swiss watch? And I didn't know why the big deal was about Swiss watches and thing. And then I did my homework, and I obviously found out, and I ended up purchasing my first ever Swiss watch, which was a Aquaterra chronograph, white dial, in 2008. And that's when my Swiss journey began. And then after that was history. I just started collecting after that. But that's my brief story and what actually made me a collector of sorts. So I'm not a massive collector. I've only got 5 Swiss watches, but and what I enjoy, and all my little other watches that I have as well. But that's actually what actually made me the collector that I am today, and you see right now. And awesome to be part of this awesome community to actually express what I really love and enjoy. So thanks to you guys. You guys rock. That's all I can say about that. Respectively, you're up, brother. What actually made you get into this awesome hobby of ours?
Like you, Mr. GMT, I've always had a watch. And like you, it started at a very young age. And my grandmother and grandfather, they said, when you graduate year 6 and you finish year 6 before high school, I will buy you a watch as your pseudo graduation present. So you've got one for high school. And back in the day, some of us that remember Australian shops will remember Walton's, which was like Grace Brothers. It's an upmarket Kmart.
We had nothing like that here. We only had Kmart.
Oh well, this was way back. It's like a David Jones almost. And my nan took me there as I finished year 6. And I can't remember the watch. I can't remember the brand. I'm thinking a J. Farron Price, which is quite nice in today's market, a vintage watch because I'm old. And I just said, Nan, I really don't care as long as it's got a date. I wanted to have a date because I thought that was so cool if it had a date complication on the leather band and a very standard, simple dial. Growing up, I had the Seiko Sports 100s, those digital watches that you could do anything to and couldn't kill. I played tennis. It went right throughout my life. I'm a school teacher. I've always worn a watch. It's never been flash, a Fossil, a Seiko. Something was always on the wrist. And one of the guys that is part of our group, Mr. Timex himself, he he started coming when I was DJing, and he started coming up and chatting and getting away from the girls and just showing me his new watch and his new watch and his new watch and his new watch. And every time I saw him, he was showing me a new watch. And I went, wow, these are just lovely. At the time, they were Invictus. And I was just blown away with how wide and varied the range was. And Invicta as a brand are known as the collector's watch because there are so many different types, so many different styles. There are Swiss, there's Japanese, in every color range. There are superheroes ones. There are just so many. And when we talked about what watch did it that made me want to collect watches, Timex had one, and it was green. It had a gold case, and I just loved the look of it. I still have it in my collection. It is not an expensive watch. It was probably a couple of $100, which I considered very expensive at the time. And he wouldn't sell it to me. He loved it so much as well. And as his taste changed and his collection grew into the hundreds, and my collection grew into the hundreds and then the 200s, I end up buying it from him. And it's still part of it. I really don't wear it because my tastes have changed like you. I discovered Swiss watches, and I did my research. I did my homework. I watched every YouTube show that was there, every review, every chat, and just sucked in this hobby. So my taste is honed. I've got too many watches. I want to sell 100, maybe 150 watches, and then I'll still have 50 or 70 watches. And that's too many in most people's books, but I like a wide collection. I like a varied collection from a high tier through to an everyday Casio. I like the one you showed. I do own that one as well. And I just like that variety. It's in my genes to be a collector.
You know,
So,
in just quickly, just before we continue, in this
I'm
hobby
not-
that we have, right? Sorry?
I'm not going to continue. I'm the next person going to have a go. What's your
Okay,
question?
next person. But in saying that, like, you know what, there is no wrong or right. Like, we collect for the reasons of being a collector. You know, we enjoy what we do. Like, if you can see around me, I enjoy collecting what I used to. And this is another reason why I got back into watches, was because I ran out of room to collect Superman figures and statues, and it was just an endless thing. I could have filled up another 5 rooms like this. There's no problem. You can just keep on collecting. There's so much things out there, right? But I thought, well, I'll get into the next thing that I love, and which is watches. And I accidentally stumbled onto, obviously, like everyone, Archie's show, and then from Archie's show I stumbled onto Tim's show, and then I met all the boys. I met Tim. I met Marco, JJ. I met everyone, and it was just a spiral from there. But there's no wrong or right. I don't believe there's a wrong or right way of actually collecting. You just collect because you are a collector. You enjoy the hobby for what you love. You know what I mean? And if you love that, that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. You love that. All right. You might not get the money. You won't get the money that you want back sometimes on a lot of these pieces, but at least you've enjoyed it. You've experienced something with that piece, for example. And that's what's I find is so special about that, is that you can actually enjoy the watches and they bring something special and a memory, a moment in time. It's timeless. It's something special. That's why I don't believe there's a wrong or right way. There is a financially, yes, there is a wrong way of collecting, obviously. Like myself, I've bought a lot of things in here that I probably won't even get a quarter of the money back. But it's just the way it is. It's collecting. It's what you enjoy doing. It's something that's passionate. That's what we live. We can't take the money with us regardless. So it doesn't matter if you make it or lose it. You can't take it with you. but as long as you enjoy it while you're alive. And that's one thing I learned when my father passed away. You got to enjoy every moment. And if you enjoy buying these certain different watches, or me collecting Superman or watches, whatever it is, enjoy it while you're alive, most importantly. But in saying that, let's go to almost on time. My man, how did you get started, and how did it all work out for you?
Like pretty much everyone here, always had a watch from a kid growing up through work and everything else. In my teens, my mother brought me a watch, like my first sort of dress style. Like at my age, I thought it was really cool. It was actually this one here. I only found it a few months ago, and that's a Casio. I don't know if you can see that.
That's
properly.
actually a beautiful looking watch. Let me put you up on full screen, my man. 1 second.
Yeah, so that was like I got that in my mid to late teens, and I've had it in a box ever since. Never thought anything of it. Had G-Shocks and everything through work and all that sort of thing, and just had one watch all the time. Didn't care. It was a tool. I used it till it died. Got a new one. That's all I ever did. And then, as respectably was saying, our mate Mr. Timex, he has this Invicta every week, or a Swiss Legend or something different watch, usually one on each wrist. And I started taking interest in what he was doing, and then myself and respectably would go and check out different places. And when I started, I've always had this thing about military or camo and things like that. And we went to a Cashies and found this Invicta.
Just
It was called
to explain to everyone around the world, a cash converter is a pawn shop. So just in case you boys didn't realize, that's exactly what it is.
Yeah. And so it was a Siberian Tiger Invicta, and that's the watch that started it all for me. So it's white band with the metal brackets, black black case, and then
Can
you
you
got your
show that
camo.
again? Yeah.
There we go.
In saying that, did you ever have a passion for watches before that? Like as in
No,
besides you?
no. Like I started liking the Invictas because I liked them because they were different and they were big and chunky, and they just appealed to me. Obviously, my taste went towards more of the military and field watches because that's my thing. But that was the watch that started off my obsession of getting watches, and then also with timely behavior, he actually got me into the vintage or the classic style watches, and I actually got this one off him, which is what started that as well. So my journey is obviously still going and still changing, and lots of different tastes that I have. I don't have one specific, and same as respectably, I probably went a bit overboard to start with. With I've got like top heavy Invictus, so I don't have the same amount that the other boys have, but I've got like 80 something watches, and I can't wear 80 watches.
That's still a substantial amount of money.
That's exactly right. But now if I want to go more top end stuff, I've got to start getting rid of the other. If I could afford it, I wouldn't get rid of any of them. I just keep collecting watches. But
That's right.
But obviously, I've got to sort of bite the bullet somewhere and start passing others on, so I can get other things that I like.
Have you has your tastes or anything changed at all, or is it still pretty much the same?
I still love the military and field style watches. I do like a nice classic watch, but my flavor is like the field watches and the pilot watches and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Obviously, I think everyone should have a really nice dress watch and things like that. So you got variety, but I lean towards those. Or the other sort of thing that I really enjoy is any sort of thing with like movie background and genre and stuff like that. Like you got the Hamilton Ventura Men in Black, and then you've got
Yes.
that's the Arnie, the Seiko Arnie, and
Yep.
just things like that. Anything that's got like theme to it. I really enjoy looking at it and checking out as well. So that's sort
Yeah.
of
Well, in saying that, this watch that I'm wearing now, I actually got it because of Back to the Future as well, because it
there
reminded
you
me
go.
of when I was a kid when I really wanted it, and I saw it on his
That
wrist as I got
explains
older,
the
and I
hat.
had to get. And the hat is too, yeah. But this is
Yeah,
actually
yeah.
this is actually signed by Christopher Lloyd.
Oh,
So
awesome.
yeah, so I've got two of them signed by Christopher Lloyd. I went to it's like a Comic Con. It's called a Supernova in Australia, and I actually
Yep.
got it signed by Christopher Lloyd himself. I got a photo with him in front of the DeLorean, and it was freaking awesome. It was really good, awesome experience.
Very cool. Yes,
But yeah,
that's cool.
that's the reason why I got this watch as well. Like, it reminded me of what I wanted when I was a kid. Never got it, but I
Yeah,
did. I ended up buying it because of that movie as well. I just wanted it, and I've ever had it. This is one watch in my collection. I know it might be, not much. It doesn't cost much to have, but I could get it again. But to me, it's one watch that I'll never ever get rid of. It's just something
yeah,
that will always stay in my collection, and it's got nothing to do with price. It's more about what I wanted when I was a kid, and I've always really had a passion for it. So it's something I really enjoyed. But yeah, so in saying that, yeah, is that pretty much you got it all covered now, my man?
yeah, mate. Yeah, that's me in a nutshell, basically. Obviously,
Yeah,
like I said, I'm in the middle of my journey, still changing and still progressing. But those are the two sort of the big Invicta kicked it off originally to do watch collecting, and this is what got me into the other sort of styles, which was from Timely. I got it off him. So
yeah.
yeah,
Timely has got an awesome vintage uh, taste of a collection. He's got one
yes,
Rolex, man. His Rolex that he got from his that remote that his pop had, his
yep,
grandfather had, his nonna.
yeah, it's
He
beautiful.
he it was, yeah. It's a gorgeous watch, man. Every time he wears it, I think, man, it's such a beautiful watch. And also, that's pretty much, yeah, that covers that scenario. Hey, we got, by the way, just, Yasu, my man, you are definitely right. Collecting is definitely about the journey, and it does make it very special. So you are definitely right, my man. I can't strongly, push that fact. That is so true. Designer Tilio, how you going, my man? How's things in Aruba? Everything going well? Awesome to see you on our little channel here today. Hope you're probably starting off your day, I gather. But if you haven't checked out Designer Tilio's channel, definitely check it out. He is one talented dude. This guy, he does videos of all sorts. Especially he does anything. He does Casios. He does everything. He does a lot of different things. So check out Designer Tilio's channel if you got a chance. He's a wonderful guy, and he's very funny as well. I've got to give him that. All right, Gary, my man, you are up. How's you? What's your story?
I suppose, like everyone else, I've always worn a watch. But I suppose the reason, I don't know whether I'm a wee bit older than some of you guys, but uh, I think, as a youngster, you had to wear a watch in my day. It was the only way of knowing the time. If you were in school and, you wanted to make sure your teacher wasn't keeping you any later than he was supposed to keep you. So the only way I know him was to look at your watch. The same you went for to get your school bus, You
Yeah,
didn't
yeah.
have a watch, didn't know when the bus was coming or whether you'd missed it or anything else because there was no mobile phones to look at.
Well, I
So
was in the same boat.
for kids nowadays, they're all growing up looking at their phones and not used to having something on their wrist, which I think is sad. But I can't really remember what my first watches would have been, but I know I don't remember ever not having a watch, but I can vaguely remember some of my first watches you had to wind them. So, we're probably going back to, I probably got my first watch in the late 60s or maybe the early 70s. But as I say, it would probably have been something that you had to wind. And as my journey would have went, and then remember after that, we all started to get into all these digital watches. And then it became a great thing when you got a digital watch that had a light on it, or you got a digital watch that, where the numerals were constantly lit up. These at the time, these seemed like fantastic things, but and I was always moving from one watch to the other. I think it was probably birthdays and Christmas would have been the main time I'd have got watches, because I don't think nobody else in the family was really into watches, so we wouldn't have gone looking in jewelers or anything as youngster whenever I was young. But I think that's where the love of the hobby started. And then I've always been sort of quite mechanically minded. So I think the fact, particularly automatic watches and things, have so many moving parts in them that it fascinates me to constantly think, to me, a watch is just an amazing thing. You think of a car engine, you think it's fantastic, but you imagine, there's more parts in most watches than what there are
Oh
in cars.
yeah.
You compare the size, it sort of makes you think, it's a work of art.
It definitely is.
Yeah, definitely.
The way that they built a lot of these things is very, very fascinating. If you think about it, it's such a small, tiny, and all right, a car, right? It's massive, right? They put things in there. It's not easy to work on. Some of them are very hard to work on, but it's big. It's huge. It's not some of it's a microscopic. You got to have your glasses on and all the rest of it to actually do it. So it takes a lot of talent and time and patience to actually, really, really get into this sort of industry. And not only that, what I've heard, I don't know personally, but what I've heard, it's a dying trade, which is very sad. Like not a lot of people are getting into it, which is, I hope hope that does change eventually. But it is a dying trade, but it is very intricate and very hard to actually be able to work on one of these things. I wouldn't have the patience to actually do it, to actually be able to do it. That's another thing you got to have. You got to keep that in mind as well, which is very interesting. But we've also got Timely Behavior in the chat. My man, how you going? Thank you for joining us. I really do appreciate it. You're the man. Love you, brother. Hope you're if you're still at work, I hope you're knocking off soon, so you don't have to actually keep working like a madman that you are, and enjoy your time with your family. But so we got another Scotch Down Under. Scotch Down Under, my man. I know you're moving, brother. I'm very surprised you're actually on. How's things, my man?
Yeah.
One second. I forgot. One second.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
How's things, brother? What's been happening?
Yeah, a bit crazy with all the move and stuff, but yeah, happy to have my own place and do all that stuff and find room to put more collectibles.
Yes, you've got some unbelievable. You collect Star Trek, right?
Yeah, got the Star Trek and get some new figurines on their way, and obviously all the whiskey collection. I've run out of room to put whiskey here, so now I need to find more
room. So you got a lot more room now? Is your room huge?
No, the house is pretty much about the same size, but I've got a decent block of land, so there's room for expansion later when I get some sheds, more sheds.
Oh, wow.
There's a couple sheds there. They're going to get filled up, and then I'll get more sheds, and then I'll have to get another block of land. And, you know the story.
Yeah, I know exactly, man. I had to slow down because I don't have that much room.
No.
But I definitely understand what you're saying, my man. But where are you at the moment? Have you moved? Are you in the process of moving? What's going on?
Yeah, in the middle of moving. So I'm still at my old house, but I'm on my other computer. I'm not on my streaming setup. That's why no camera tonight.
Well, I actually thought that you wouldn't be able to come on. I thought you'd be too busy, like stressing out. I got to do this. I got to do that. But everyone needs time to unwind, I suppose.
Yeah, I'm trying not to stress. I mean, we picked up the keys today, and we've been out the house a couple of times. And this weekend and next week will be the chaos time, trying to get everything working and moving at the same time. But anyway.
So you won't be obviously not streaming for this week, is that right?
I don't know yet. I don't know. I mean, I've got to get the internet sorted out and everything like that. So I'll have all my stuff here until I start moving the alcohol. When the alcohol moves, that's when it's official.
That's when it's happening. How long do you reckon until it's all said and done? You said a week? Did you say a week?
Yeah, a couple of weeks, I'd say, because it's still got to
couple weeks.
Still got to work and do all that stuff,
That sucks. Work sucks, doesn't it? I just started my busy season, guys. I've got my business, which is my restaurant, my takeaway shop, Greek takeaway shop, and I've also got a market store, which I do as well, which is something that really keeps me busy as well. We had our first official night last night, which was great. And also, Ken, I've also got a friend of yours coming up, so
Yeah,
he should
Chris
be
and
here
Bill
now
coming up.
already.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I'll be seeing him. I think on Sunday he said he's going to come down to the market. So it'd be great to meet him in person.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Which would be awesome, you know. But yeah, so yeah, we're talking about what actually how we got into this hobby, and have you got any stories and why you like and what as getting like growing up, was there anything in particular that you actually really strive to have or wanted to have getting old, getting into this hobby?
Yeah, so I watched everyone out, and I'm pretty much exactly the same as everybody. I cannot remember a time in my entire life where I haven't had a watch on my wrist. It's just
Yeah.
always been there. I mean, I literally take my watch off, and you can see the mark on my wrist where a watch has to be. So there's never been a watch not on my wrist. And I started with the Casios, the Illuminators, and I recently just picked up another one of. I got one of the fancy ones when you actually press the light and it lights the whole entire watch up instead of just half of the face like those ones used to do.
Yeah.
So a bit of an upgrade, and I always got the metal bands, and so I did like the digital ones. I always wanted the calculator. That was like the epitome piece that in school, than getting the old calculator. I never managed to get one of them, but I did get one of those solar ones. I do remember when you said that. I remember I had one until it broke, and I thought it was the coolest thing with this little solar panel on it. You still had it. Battery.
It's funny because I got a little, before you continue, I got a little story about that. When I actually did get that, my mum promised me that she was going to get it for me for Christmas, and I was meant to get it on Christmas Day, and I thought I was gonna unwrap it, right? But because at the time my mother didn't get anything that extravagant for my brother and sister, she didn't put it under the tree, so I thought I didn't get it. So here I am, all excited, looking through all the presents, gonna open this present because I thought I was gonna get this watch, and sure enough, it wasn't there. I didn't say anything, right? So I went around the back of the yard and just sat there, and I started crying. Little kid, young kid, started crying because this watch. I was crying because I didn't get this watch. That's how passionate I was that I really wanted this watch that my mother said to me that she was going to get me, right? So I sat there, and then she comes around the corner. She goes, "Here, I've got something else for you, but I didn't want to show you in front of your brother and sister so they don't get upset because I didn't really spend that much money on them." And she pulled out the watch, and she had it wrapped up, and she goes, "Here you go." And I unwrapped it, and I remember the look on my face. I was like, I swear to God, it's like I won the lotto. That's how excited and happy I was.
Yeah,
it was just unreal.
You had the ups and the downs all at once.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But this was really last year, wasn't it?
Yeah, it would look. I didn't want to get to exactly what time, what year, or anything, but yeah. Now that you did mention it, it was last year, man. Fuck, you got it right. You got it out of me. You got it out of me, man. But yeah, so yeah, Ken, that's so yeah. You actually remember those the solar power watches? It's crazy. Huh?
Yeah, I remember the solar one because I just remember when it broke, and I tried to fix it. As you are as a kid, you try and tinker with stuff, and I remember the solar panel, it split, and the LCD split, and so I got to learn how LCDs work and how they've got it's got a liquid crystal display. So how I got to learn all that, and then obviously I got another watch, and then I got another one, and then I thought, no, these digital things they're for lamos. I need to get analog. So I got some analog ones, and then I realized, no, this battery thing is a complete, absolute crock of shit. I'm sick of replacing batteries. And so obviously you go to the automatics and you're like, well, this is good. I like this idea. And then you get more of them. And then, especially when you get your first case back and you just can't stop looking at the damn movement. And you just, even to this day, every time you look at the movement, you're just like, this is the coolest thing ever.
Well, yeah, well, they are, man. Like I said, it was a spiral thing for me, and not only the thing is with me, it was coming onto these streams and listening to everyone else's what they actually enjoy collecting, and a lot of them, they do collect a lot of the same stuff, but the stories behind them are different, and that's what I loved about it. You know what I mean? This is the stories behind them, which was absolutely unreal, and that's what I loved, and I learned so much from other people, which was great. Hang on, we got. Whoa. Hello, my man. How are you going, my fellow
Alex.
Gibril?
Kalispera sas.
Hang on, wait a second, man. I got a tradition that I do here, man. You gotta. There you go. I gotta give you a little round of applause. How are you, my man?
I'm good. How are you? How's everybody? Just
Alex, if I think most people do know you, Alex, but if you don't know, he's a watch. He repairs watches. He's what would you call yourself?
Oh well, so I hold the WASTEP certification. I think there's about 40 or 50 applicants in the UK that have it, and also I sit on the board of the British Horological Institute. I'm a fellow of the British Horological Institute. I'm also a fellow of the Guild, and I have certain other accreditations with companies. So yeah, I mean, I've been in the business.
Watch royalty, I would say.
Yes, yes, you could pretty much say that, man.
But I'm always learning. That's the most important thing. Every day you learn in this business, whether it's the watch itself or the person that owns the watch. And that's why a lot of people ask me, what's the hardest watch? It's actually the person that owns it that can be quite difficult more than the watch itself.
Definitely.
True.
I've heard some of your stories, and they're very, very interesting, my man. Very interesting.
A mechanical movement can be fixed, but a person's a bit a different beast.
I'd like to hear Alex's story about what was the watch that got him hooked, or how did he get into it, even as part of his life now in business?
How did I get into watchmaking?
Well,
how did you get into watches
general,
itself? Yeah, in general.
Yeah.
So basically, my parents, like most Greek Cypriots, have like restaurants and cafeterias.
As we do, yes.
I think my father was having a bit of a stressful day, and he sat me down and said to me, Alex, whatever you do not do this profession. I'm advising you to. And I respected his. I wasn't going to do that anyway, but I respect people that do because it's hard hours. You know, you've got to get to your family. So I wanted to do automobile design. I wanted to design cars. But I kind of had to be realistic because I was sat in a hall full of people, and I statistically thought, what's the chances of me doing what I want to do? And there's no way I was good enough to do it. So I went into micromechanics, which is the WASTEP course, Watches of Switzerland Training and Education Program. It was 6 or 7 people that can only apply for it in the whole of the UK. And there was only about, at the time, 30 applicants worldwide, 30, 40 applicants worldwide. And I managed to get on it. And then it just from there. So
wow.
I'm very fortunate. I owe a lot to my teachers, and I have a lot of respect for them, and I still keep in contact with them. So yeah. So,
and
nice.
You'd see it wouldn't be all right. You see the traditional watches. Have you seen anything that's really outstanding that's come across your desk that you never thought you'd ever see, like unique?
Yeah. One sticks in my head, and I never forget it. I don't know. You know I always tell this story. I don't know if you've heard me say it before, but you know the Rolex Submariner. You know they do the Certi dial, don't they?
Yes.
They do the blue dial. Well, I had a gentleman that was using my services, and he came in with a Submariner, all gold, pre-ceramic, and he said to me, Alex, can you service this watch for me and polish it? And I said, yeah, no problem. So as soon as I opened it, there's something not right. The dial was very thick, and then we're talking years ago now. The dial was really thick, and it had like a speckled dial on it. And I thought, what is this? This dial is too good to be custom and aftermarket. So anyway, I was going on holiday to Malta because years ago I used to work on the island of Malta. And I was their watchmaker for Tag Heuer and Cartier for a couple of years. And I was speaking to my friend, and he says, Alex, can you get me a lapis lazuli dial for a day? And then I thought, wait a minute. So I did some research. That Rolex I had an original lapis lazuli dial.
Oh, shit.
Now,
wow.
those watches retail for 80 to 100,000 now. So what I did was I told the customer, because he wanted to also sell the watch to me. And I said, listen, this watch is worth a lot more because of the lapis lazuli dial. And he was shocked. So he said, what shall I do? I said, look, I'll refer you to somebody to sell it. And he said to me, look, if he sells it for me, I'll give you a percentage. Anyway, it sold. I didn't get anything. He disappeared.
Oh, surprisingly. Fucking surprisingly.
But,
okay, do you know how much it sold for?
no, I didn't know. No, I didn't know how much it sold for, but it did sell. But that's probably one of the most rarest. No, I do not know anyone in the business that has actually seen a lapis lazuli Submariner. And
How many are there, do you reckon? Do you reckon there's many?
no, there's not many. There's not
Wow.
many. I actually, I will say this now. None of you, I mean, no disrespect, none of you will see one.
I don't think we will. I agree.
No,
But if
not
you're saying
unless
they're
it's
that
in a
rare,
museum or something.
Yeah.
But if you do, look, at the end of the day, look, I could have bought that watch. If I knew what it was, I could have played stupid and bought it. But me, I don't work like that in this business. I'm too honest.
you're straight up.
I had a customer that came in with a pip dial GMT 1960s, and he wanted to sell it to me for a couple of grand. I ended up getting him 30,000 for it, and he gave me a £250 tip.
Nice.
Oh wow. Oh wow. How cool is that?
Maybe not great, but better than nothing.
Yeah.
Hey, look, you know, you can Google my name. You'll never see anyone say, this guy ripped me off.
No way.
This guy did this. This guy did that.
But you know what I love about you, Alex, and this is the truth. I'm not just because you're on blow smoke up your ass. I've just what I've noticed because I've been watching you on Marcelo's show, on all the shows. I actually met you first time on Tim's show. I was on the show with you for the first time, and you actually came onto Tim's show, and that's when I met you the first time. But I've seen you, and you're pretty much straight up. Is what you believe, you say it, and you're honest about it. And that's what I've noticed about you. I've been watching you and following you for so long, so I definitely understand, and I see, and I believe exactly what you're saying. That the respect that you have out there from everyone, even when you're on the other shows. I've even seen you on some of the bigger channels, and mate, you're a straight up guy, and you know it's something that I'm the same. I don't know if it's us being Cyprian because we're from Cyprus. If you guys don't know, it's a little island just out of Greece there. And I'm just straight up. What you see is what you get. There's no bullshit in between. And Alex is pretty much the same. And I gotta hand it to him.
It's a bloody good way to be.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
I want to nail him down now, though. When you decided to move into the watch courses and making the watches, just prior to that, like we've all talked about in our journey, was there a watch or a brand or a moment where you went, I'm going to do this, or I'm going to collect these, or I'm going to... Was there a turning point? Was there something that just flipped the switch or turned the corner? Was there something?
As in when I saw a particular watch, or as in being in the business?
I don't care. Either both or...
For me, it was when we're talking probably, I think one of the first Salon QP shows in the Charles Saatchi Gallery in London. I went and I walked in and it was busy. Like I felt kind of underdressed because there was a lot of people well dressed and beautiful women there, and guys were looking good as well. And you know, I was there collecting loads of magazines, and I had so many magazines the bags were ripping. And I saw a watch there, a Lang & Son, and I always say it's bitter and sweet for me, because sweet being that I've seen a watch that I love, but bitter because every other watch I'm going to see, I'm going to compare it to this watch. Mm-hmm. And it's a Lang & Son that you have to literally see one in the flesh and try one on to really appreciate what they are and what they stand for. I mean, German Swiss, you can't.
They've got an unbelievable history as well. And they re-emerged well, not that long ago. Is that right, Alex?
Well, Lang and Son have, I think they're part of the Richemont group,
Yeah.
and they brought out, would I say, other models, but they're definitely now being more popular than they used to
Yeah,
be. Because
that's
some
right.
years ago, I wouldn't say you can pick them up cheap, but they were, I wouldn't say relatively affordable, but they were affordable-ish. But now
Forget it.
their profile is rising
Well,
considerably.
I've heard they've got like they've actually even gone up in price to actually purchase from a dealer as well. So they've actually their pricings they've like everything else has gone up. So they're just going to be untouchable eventually, like everything else.
Everything's going up. Problem
Yeah.
is, Rolex are having a lot of trouble at the moment because they can't keep up with the demand on the after sale side. So they're declining a lot of work. They're even going against their 5-year warranty. They're even
Oh, really?
yeah,
Wow.
yeah. If there's a dent on the case or a dent on the crown, they're just saying, sorry, your 5-year warranty's voided. Or even, they're now, if you have a watch and they just don't want to work on it, they just send it back. They just say, "Oh, sorry, we can't take on your watch," and they just send you a letter saying we can't do it. They won't give you a
Wow.
reason. Yeah, I get a lot of customers
That's
saying,
not good.
yeah, or they say, watch has aftermarket parts because they have a three-part policy. So if there's 3 parts on the watch that they believe are not genuine, then they class the watch as a fake. They just say we're not working on it. So
Oh, wow.
that would be like crown bezel dial or clasp bezel crown. It could be a number of things. And that's the problem as well, because there's a lot of people buying pre-owned and not figuring out what they bought until they send it to somebody like myself or to Rolex, and we say, oh, by the way, did you know that this is not real and that's not real? And it gets a bit uncomfortable because there's some people that think you're just saying that, and then you have to give them the facts.
Mm.
A lot of people don't. Yeah.
That's where it can. That's where it's where it can get quite uncomfortable. Does anyone speak Inglesiga here? Oh,
Yeah, I just read that. Do you want to catch up with some of the chat there?
I haven't actually been following it. I've been intrigued.
Listening. Yeah.
Yeah.
We've got Design Atelier. Who else we got?
We got Design Atelier. Where is he?
McLovin's there.
We got McLovin. We got Design Atelier. Timely Behavior. Obviously, we've said. McLovin, how you going, brother? Who else we got? We got all the usual suspects, which is great to see. Mr.
Someone's
Cooper, Blue.
After a wristwatch check.
The wristwatch check. That's a great idea. What have we got on the wrist today? You obviously you know what I've got. Let's see what do you got, brother?
Okay.
Oh.
What is that?
The Chase Tour.
Now, what series is that from?
It's actually from Burn Notice.
Okay.
It's a spy show, and he wears it in that. But it's actually a Special Forces watch. So does a lot of deep water work. It's got lots of bits and pieces on it. So if you sit there long enough to read the book, you can do lots of different time zones and bits and pieces.
Oh, nice, interesting.
I just love the watch, but once again, I acquired this one from Timely. So thank you very much, Timely. I really appreciate it. I love the watch. But yeah, it's since I've got it, it hasn't really left my wrist much. So
awesome. All right, next, Gary, you're up. Whoop.
The Breitling.
nice.
you know what? My mate, my good friend, Captain's got the same watch, exactly the
does.
same colors and everything.
Yep.
How you liking that, my man? Can't hear you.
You're muted.
It's muted. 1 second.
Such a nice day.
Yeah.
So
Sorry, can you? We didn't hear you. I'm muted. Can you just say that again?
I'm just saying that such a nice day here today. I've got the summer watch back on again.
Yeah. How you loving the Breitling? Because my mate, my good friend, Captain's got it. How you enjoying
I
it?
love it. Great. Really,
Comfortable,
really
yeah.
like it. Yeah.
That's a
How long have
bloody
you had
nice
that
day
piece
for
for?
Ireland.
Yeah, beautiful.
I got the watch about last August or so. So I got a couple of months of last summer wearing it, and then it got put away until really a couple of weeks ago. I lifted it out again. But just letting you have a wee look around. This is, as you probably know, I'm in Northern Ireland, and this is a little place called Bangor, which is about 10 miles outside of
Did you
Belfast.
say Bangor?
Bangor.
Yep.
Bangor.
Oh, Bangor.
Bangor.
Oh, I thought we got Bangor. What we're banging there?
Yeah. So we're about 10 minutes outside, 10 miles outside Belfast. You may have heard of the group Snow Patrol.
Yep.
Mhm.
Yep.
They're from this part of the world.
Oh wow, it's a beautiful
That's
day,
a
brother.
very nice day.
Beautiful day.
You're definitely not chasing cars. No.
No, they're not chasing cars today.
Okay, respectably, what's going on? All right, where we got you?
I had a function on tonight, and as weird as it was, I was dressed as a life-size Mickey Mouse in a Disneyland costume like they'd have at Disneyland, and hundreds of pictures were taken. But what else would Mickey Mouse wear?
So you're telling me Mickey Mouse wears a Rolex?
Absolutely, he can afford a Rolex.
Very interesting. I didn't know that.
Well, I was going to get a Mickey Mouse watch, but God, my partner wouldn't let me. Timely wouldn't let me. Everyone was against me.
If you spoke to me, I would have told you go and fucking buy that Mickey Mouse watch because you never know when you're going to need it. You would have worn it tonight and see you would have had good use out of it, man. Fuck. It's all about the experience and enjoying it, man. Fuck it.
I heard
Doesn't
Mickey
matter.
Mouse wears a Mr. GMT watch.
Sorry?
I heard that Mickey Mouse wears a Mr. GMT watch. Is there any truth in it?
There's actually just a little secret. Not many people are watching, so I'm gonna. There is an actual Mr. GMT watch getting made, not by me. It's done by the community. It's been in the works for a while, and there's a friend of mine that's actually making it. It's actually a functioning GMT watch with my logo on it. So it'll be pretty interesting when it does come out. And there's only, guess what? There's only 38 of them, because if you don't know the story, that I actually tried to actually buy a Ming when this time last year, and I actually
you didn't buy a Ming. You bought.
No, I didn't even
38
buy a Ming. I
Mings.
didn't even get to get one. I actually tried to get one, and I put my card in 38 times, and I ended up getting a bill from they blocked it. Luckily, I got an announcement from my bank saying that, did you authorize for $47,500 worth of watches from Ming? And I said, no, you can cancel that order. Please don't let it go through. And so they did. But I had to cancel my card. And I didn't have a card for over a month. So that's the story behind the actual GMT. But they're making 38 of these GMT watches, which is crazy. And so they're only limited. But they're not done by me. They're done by a friend of mine. And he's actually gone through and spent all the money on actually making these, and most of them are already gone. A lot of people have already bought them.
Can I ask how long you've had your Air King for?
I picked it up last November, and so it was before its current rise. I'm led to believe that it's gone up on current asking price in Australia.
Yeah.
It's gone up somewhere around $5,000 or $6,000.
Okay. I don't suppose you saw the one on Watchfinder, which I know who owns it, is the same as yours, but they made a mistake on the dial.
Oh, don't go there. I've heard of that one.
Well, it's funny because when I went to the London Watch Show, I know the owner of that watch, and then lo and behold, I'm having a round of drinks with some friends, and the guy that previously owned it, who sold it to the person I knew, was on that table, and he told me the figure of how much he sold it for, and I kind of felt a bit bad because I said to him, "You do realize that watch is probably going to go for like $250,000 in about 4 or 5 years' time," and
Oh my
I
God.
don't think he enjoyed the rest of the day, but
No.
Oh my God.
because think about it, yeah, that watch was made. Someone put the dial on it. Someone put the hands on it. It went through QC. It went through the system of Rolex. It went to the dealer. Dealer then seen it, put it in his window, sold it. Then it took the owner to realize, wait a minute, why is there 3 numbers the same?
Wow. Three
Yeah,
numbers.
was it 3 6s or 3 9s or something ridiculous?
I heard there were at least 2 3s or something like that. I'm not sure. But Mr. GMT, my missus has just told you to go back to cooking fish and chips because she doesn't like the advice you gave me.
Listen, I never said I was going to give up my day job. That's something I would never do because I don't think I'll be able to qualify to be able to do anything else. So, yeah, thank you for the advice.
Did you eat your flaurones for Easter?
Yeah, my mother made them. She made a few of them. I had a few. I don't eat too many of them because
They're fattening, aren't they?
yeah, they're very fattening, man.
Lofty. Jesus Christ, I tell you what.
But did you have any? Did you have any?
Of course I did.
Of course you did.
Of course I did.
Who made them? Who made them?
My mum.
Your mum, yeah.
Mothers know best when it comes to flaurones. How many does make flaurones? I don't know any.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, my brother-in-law, he gave it a crack. Not as good as my mother's, but they weren't bad. They weren't bad. So, I've got to hand it to him. It was his first time ever making them. So, yeah, they weren't bad at all, actually.
Only Greeks can make cheese and raisin and make it taste nice. You know that?
It tastes, yeah. But you know what it is? It's a secret. But the funny thing is, the secret between the sweet and the salty together, I don't know, that just in the right amount, it's just the right amount of everything just makes it perfect, right?
Well, I made the mistake of saying to one of my Greek friends from Greece, "Did you have flaurones for Easter?" And she looks at me and goes, "What's that?"
What?
I thought, "What do you mean you don't know what flaurones are?" "No, we don't have that in Greece." I was like,
Oh my.
sorry.
Yeah, but that's like being in Australia, right? Majority of Australians, Greek Australians, would know what a flauone is. Majority, the biggest majority, because it's just because of it. We're all mixed together, sort of thing. Our cultures are mixed together. What they share, what they do, we share what we do. So it is like my brother-in-law is not Cyprian. My brother-in-law is Greek, but he tried to make him because his wife loves him so much. He mainly did it for his wife because his wife loves him so much. So yeah, and they weren't too bad. They weren't too bad. Not as good as my mother's, obviously, but not too bad.
So you have to admit, if you stick a Cypriot and a mainland Greek in the room and get them to talk, half of the conversation is non-existent.
That is very true. That is very true. It's so funny, guys. Look, the way that it's our accent and the way that we say certain words. It's pretty full on. It's funny, but
in Greek, in Cypriot, like mukti means like free, like it's nothing.
Yeah, free.
And in Greek, it's taba. Now, it gives you an idea of how different those two words are, meaning the same thing.
Yeah.
And that's when my parents had their restaurant, you would see a Greek and a Cypriot talking, and you could see they literally are trying to figure out what they're saying to each other.
No one can understand.
What we've done here in Australia is, because there's more Greeks than actually Cyprians where we are, we've actually tried to change the way that we speak. But when we're at home, we're still Cypriot. We still talk the way we normally talk. But when we start talking to them, you'll notice the way that we speak is to try and let them understand, because it's very hard for them to understand most of the words that we say because they're slightly different. So definitely understand that. That's just, it's crazy. But I'm surprised that being in England that a lot of them wouldn't know what a flauone is. It's crazy.
Well, I'm talking about like friends in the gym that are from Greece, i.e., they've come down to study.
Okay. Yep. That's fair
And
enough.
they
That's
they
fair
don't
enough.
have a clue. They don't. They're
Yeah,
like,
that's fair enough.
they just have their lamb at Easter, and
Yeah,
they
yeah,
colour their eggs, don't they?
yeah. Did you do a suvla or anything for Easter?
Not this Easter, no.
No.
I didn't
Yeah.
spend it with my mum and dad this time. But usually, we just have loads of food, don't we? And eggs and.
Yeah. Well, I didn't. Had suvla, but I'm the one because I got the shop and I do that like 3-4 times a week. I didn't. I said I'm not cooking suvla. They said, "Don't worry, I'll cook." My brother-in-law goes, "I'll cook it. Don't worry, we want to eat it. I'll cook it." I said, "You can cook it and you can eat it because I'm over it." So they ended up cooking it. I just marinated for them.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
If you go to a Greek house and you tell them you're not hungry, then you're fucked.
Oh, you're fucked. You're fucked. You're
What do
fucked.
you mean you're not eating? I know
They
you
take
haven't
it.
got it.
That's like most European countries, isn't it?
Oh, they take it offense, man, big time.
Oh
Like,
yeah. You can't do that. I'm not hungry. It's like if you're
What do
one
you
of
mean
those
you're
people
not
like me
hungry?
that fast during the day, then I'd be stabbed. What's this fast? You don't eat? What's wrong with you?
And not only that, it's like they put a fucking for the a main course. Like there's like you got your entree, your main, your dessert, you got everything there, man. It's like a fucking
Oh yeah.
full meal. It's crazy.
One of my
Crazy.
one of my tias, one of my aunties in Cyprus, for Christmas, we have this certain dish that GMT will know, where it's like rice and a bit of meat for like stuffing. We do that in Cyprus, and the rice that she cooked, fortunately, was off, and
Oh shit.
she poisoned nearly half the whole of Cyprus, and actually ended up in the newspaper. And then it was given to my cousins who were doing military service, who then shared it with their friends.
Oh no.
It was
Oh
terrible.
shit.
Yeah, serious. Serious poisoning going on.
Oh shit. Orange Groove, how you going, my man? Good morning, my man. Fuck. That's crazy. Fuck
Yeah.
me dead.
Yeah, so she
Oh
was.
shit. No, but my Easter was a little bit more mellowed and quiet. I didn't do much. As you know, I don't want to bring this up, but yeah, my father passed away about hadn't done his 40 days yet, so we were pretty mild and quiet and didn't do much.
Your father passed away?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry to-
It was his 40 days yesterday.
What was that from illness or?
He did get COVID, but he had a urine infection at the same time, and he ended up getting internal bleeding because they gave him all different medication for it all. And then they tried to stop that; it didn't really stop. And while they're trying to stop that, he got pneumonia, and the pneumonia killed him pretty much. So yeah, it wasn't well. But it's life. We're all heading that way. It's not an easy thing. It's just.
Can I how old was he? Can I ask?
It was no problem. Yeah, 77. Yeah, so, yeah. It wasn't.
Sorry to hear that. That's,
thank you, man. It's not easy, but it was a bit more mild. It was a mild Easter for us, and our Easter was actually the weekend that just went past, guys. If you didn't realize, so yeah, it wasn't at the same time as everyone else. So Orthodox Easter, so it was a different weekend.
Different calendar, the Gregorian to the Julian calendar.
GMT, when you have your Easter at the church, do you also get like Russians and other?
Yeah, we've got actually. Funny thing is, it's for such a small place, we've only got like 120,000 people in where we live. We're a major city on top of Australia, but we've got two Orthodox churches. One's a Russian one, like a Russian, and one's a Greek one. But we can go either wherever we want. But majority of the Russians just go there, and the Greeks go there. It's just the way it's always been. Yeah. How about you guys?
Yeah, look, the times I've been to the church, it's been a mixture, of Russians and mainly Russians, especially in Cyprus. I mean, the majority of Russians in Cyprus is huge.
Yeah.
Well, actually, a lot of them have left. However, there's still quite a large percentage now because they love it there, don't they? They love it because it's Orthodox and plus, well, you know, the system. They use the system, don't they?
Yes.
So they build a
Yes,
lot of
definitely.
properties there. Because my brother-in-law, Floros, he basically does marble and granite for like buildings. So I get to see some crazy pictures of these Russian huge houses with full of marble and granite, and it's a crazy what the money they spend on their houses. I mean, we're talking serious.
Oh yeah,
properties.
serious dollars, man. It's crazy. I definitely know that. I
They're
don't
big
know.
on their watches as well.
Really?
Yeah,
Wow.
well, Russians, huge on their watches. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
now with the war that's going on, apparently they've cut supply to the Rolex supply to them. I don't know how true that is, but apparently they
Yeah,
have.
I did hear that, and I also heard that they bought up everything they could get.
Oh,
Like
really?
the government went to pretty much every AD and just bought everything they could get. It was
Wow.
something like that. Yeah, well,
Why would
not
they
in the
do that?
government,
Why
but
do you reckon they do that?
something that some organization or some group, they just bought everything they up before for some reason. I did read something about that.
Oh, okay. Fuck, that's interesting.
Look, I'm going to say it, and I'm going to say it again. You probably heard me say it hundreds of times. If I had £1 million, £10 million, £20 million, I'll go and buy every single pre-ceramic Rolex I could find, whether it has papers or no papers. I don't care. And I would sit on it because they're going to climb, they're going to go up. Forget about ceramics. The market is going to fall on them, and then it's going to lean out. But pre-ceramics, Rolexes, Sea Dwellers, Daytonas, just buy them. Whether they
Yeah,
have
well,
papers or no papers.
Oh, they seized AP. Yeah, I knew it was something like that.
they
Yeah.
seized it. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, they seized APs.
Oh, wow. That's crazy. But yeah, I've got a pre-ceramic, the Kermit. I've got that, so I'm never going to sell that. That's staying with me forever, Alex. That's just something that I'll always keep.
Yeah.
Something special.
So you got pre-ceramic Kermit.
Yeah.
Can I ask what you paid for it?
I bought it this time last year. I paid 22,000 Australian, which now they go for close to 30.
Breaks my heart.
Australian.
I sold one for 4 or 5 years ago for like $6,000.
Yeah, man. It's crazy. Hang on, we've got a special guest joining us. It's first thing in the morning for him. I'm very surprised he's on because he's been very busy lately. He's one of my best friends in this community. I love him to death. He knows this. He's got a heart of gold. I can trust him with anything I say, and I won't let him stay back there much longer. His name is the Captain. I love you, brother. Thank you so much for joining us.
You muted, Captain.
Cap, you're muted.
Gentlemen, GMT, thank you for that amazing introduction. It's all false. It's all false. And just so you know, the only reason I'm coming on this show and interrupting my work, I was up super early this morning, and I know you were having a stream, and then work got in the way. But I'm actually here because Alex is on. So no disrespect to you, GMT, but we have a legend, another legend on the show that I haven't ever met or spoken with, but I know I've watched his some of his streams, and he is obviously super knowledgeable when it comes to watches and watchmaking and everything else. So pleasure to meet you, Alex.
Thank you, Captain. I appreciate you. Appreciate your kind comments. You know, to be honest with you, I don't know if you've noticed or realised, I kind of kept away for a while because there was a lot of things happening, a lot of drama, and I didn't want to be associated or to get involved. And I kind of moved myself away from people, and then went back in because I wanted to see who is honourable and who is respectful, and I've made my decisions on that basis, and too much stuff was going on, so I feel as though now things are more positive. And
well, my show is all about positivity, man. I don't like the drama. I'd stay away from it myself. As you know, it's all about, friendship and, just talking. I just love just sitting here. It's like going to a cafe. you know, like going to a Greek club and just sitting here and just talking and, you know, just making your day go, you know, by. It's just something special about this. I don't want the drama, man. I don't need the drama. I want to enjoy what we do and have fun doing it and experience each other's experiences, you know? That's what it's all about.
Of course, and I think there's few individuals that have caused a lot of drama, a lot of hate, and it's not necessary. At the end of the day, you know, if you want to watch somebody, then watch them. If you don't, then switch it off. You know, but don't have to choose sides and all this stuff. It's I think it's.
Yeah, I was asked to do that and I left, so I don't believe in that either. So, I definitely agree.
Yeah, I mean, look, if I don't know if you guys, I'm not trying to put out my YouTube channel, but you'll see on my YouTube channel that I do not get paid or sponsored or anything. I actually pay for those reviews.
By the way, can you just tell us what your YouTube channel is so everybody knows?
Oh, it's Perpetual Time Ltd. And I think there's only 20 videos on there. But the thing is that I go into detail. I've just done a Christopher Ward one. Now, the thing is, I have not been paid by them in any way. I don't get anything from them. But when I literally seen this watch, because I sponsor D-Time Love, another Greek as well, Dimitri, I could not believe that this watch is £950 sterling. I couldn't get my head round how it could be £950 Swiss movement.
Well, I haven't seen your latest video, so I'm definitely going to go and check that out for sure.
Yeah, have a look. 60 months warranty, 60 days return. Comes on a rubber, comes on a bracelet. I mean, I even timed it. I timed it, and it was within chronometer rating when it shouldn't be, because they quote 12 seconds a day minus. So this was doing minus 4 plus 6. I stuck it in my waterproof tester. Passed, vacuumed it, passed. I thought, wow, it's like I say, I'm not getting paid by them. Look, to give you an idea, it cost me at least 200 quid to get the movement, just the movement, and they're selling it for 950. Once again, it's a bittersweet thing because it's sweet because you can get a deal, and it's bitter because you're paying thousands of pounds for these other brands.
Yeah,
that's right. That's
I've
what
got
I mean.
The combat sub.
Sorry?
I've got the combat sub.
Oh, you
Christopher Ward.
Have you got it now? Can I see it?
No, I'm 6 hours from home in a motel room with a partner trying to sleep, and it's wanted to jump on, but next time we do it from probably next week from home. I will, I'll show it to you. I'm a fan of Christopher Ward. I'm not part of this. You can't have another man's name on a watch, and you can't have the whole name. It has to be CW. That doesn't bother the shit out of me at all. I think it's a well-made watch with a good movement, well constructed, and I enjoyed it.
There you go. I've never dealt with them, to be honest. So it's nice to hear these awesome, positive, things on these watches.
Design Atelier has reviewed a couple of the pieces as well.
There you go. See, so you can go check out Design Atelier's channel. Design Atelier's got an awesome channel. Like I said before, he's funny. He's very interesting, very creative, which is awesome. And then you got the man himself, the legend, Alex, which is, he knows the ins and outs of all these watches. And if he says that, I know there's one that he doesn't like. And they're actually Australians that actually build these watches.
Oh, listen, look, I mean, where can I start with that company? I mean,
which one?
You don't know which one it is? You don't know, honestly?
My business partner wanted to buy one, and he asked me, what do I think? And I think he left the room almost crying because I told him straight. And they kept on ringing him, saying, are you going to buy this watch or not? And he had enough with them. It's a Venti. I mean, look, for me, I don't appreciate or respect people. And I even said that to Nico when I was on Full Thought with him. I said, look, Hublot are not bad. You're just, I don't respect what you're saying. But that, Nico's all right. It's his shtick. but they are not bad watches. They're just okay. They're heavily priced, but they're not bad watches. They have an excellent warranty terms. They are built well.
I think I saw you have actually a back and forth on a stream once about it. I'm not sure. I could be wrong.
We did on Paul Thoughts. We had a bit of a battle going on.
Yeah,
but
back and forth.
he doesn't know me that well, and I've never really had the time to speak to him because every time I've seen him, he's been busy. And plus, you know, he's a busy guy. But
yeah, definitely.
Look, that's
I own 2 Australian micro brand watches. I'm hoping it's not one of those 2, and I actually want to buy a 3rd Australian micro brand one because I like one. Are you at liberty to expose the name?
Oh, we just did. It's called a Venti.
Do you know? So I don't like to disrespect any brand. However, when a brand comes out with these ridiculous terms and twisting their words, it annoys me. It's a Venti, you know. I don't particularly think that.
I don't know it.
It's 100% Swiss made. That's what they reckon.
No, it's not.
That's what they said. That's what they say. That's in there.
What other company says they're 100% Swiss made? One company that does that.
Exactly.
None. Absolutely none. But just quickly, AMG, my man, thank you so much.
Why do you feel the need to say 100? That's like saying 100% orange juice. I mean, okay.
Yeah.
Look,
it's true.
Their marketing strategy, personally, I think is corrupt, and I don't like saying these things, but it's just the tourbillons that they produced in their first design are just cheap tourbillons.
Are they Swiss tourbillons? Are they made in? Are they? I thought they were Chinese, to be honest.
They are. The tourbillons that they made first time are not Swiss tourbillons, and even if they were, it's still not worth it because Tag Heuer make a tourbillon, and it's a genuine Swiss tourbillon, and it's a Tag Heuer. It's a great build, and as far as I know, even on the second-hand market, even brand new, they're affordable. I think it's like 18 or 22 grand. Now that's for a Swiss tourbillon, and I'm sure it's automatic as well. Theirs is not. And it's not even Swiss.
Design Salier saying it's a Singapore tourbillon.
No, yeah, okay. Sorry, the tag is more expensive, but it's Swiss. Their first batch that they did isn't a Swiss tourbillon. But in all respect, in all fairness, and I will say this, I've not had one in front of me, and I've not held one. But I think it's fair to say, even though I've not held it, from what I've seen and from the specification, I do not think it's worth it. And what annoys me as well is that there's people buying them and asking 3 or 4 times as much on Chrono 24. So then people say, oh, it must be a good buy because that person wants 3 or 4 times as much. Well, it doesn't work like that.
Pump and dump.
Guys, I have to shoot on here. It's been great to be on the show, and thanks for having me on.
Thank you, Gary. Thank you so much for joining us. I really do appreciate it. You're a good man. Thank you so much. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day.
Enjoy that awesome
and
weather. Yeah.
And the weather, yes. I was going to tell him to stay sexy, but he didn't give me a chance.
I think he is staying sexy in that weather, in that location.
Definitely.
That's all right. He's sexy already, so no need to remind him.
Where were we at? I've just lost track now. Sorry. But
just talking about Venti. So look, like I said, I don't want to start being disrespectful to other brands, but if someone asks me the question, I can only give my experience and my opinion, and whether they like it or not. I have no reason to be biased.
No, and you don't want to sugarcoat it. That's bullshit.
Yeah,
that's right.
You're entitled to your honest opinion. That's what that's what I want to know.
Yeah.
As someone who's, collecting and enthusiast, I do not own a tourbillon. They are a bit out of my price range, but I have
You can get the cheap
considered.
Chinese ones.
Well, that's what we're talking about, right? But Aventi, I think, went from sourcing them from China to, I believe they sourced them now, or they say they sourced them in Switzerland with the newest models. I thought I saw
Well,
a
Design
video about
Tellier
that.
saying they're Singapore.
Singapore, okay.
So,
I'd have to check on that. I want to fact check that because I thought he very well may be right because design
Design is pretty much
usually is, but
yeah, he's pretty much
maybe
on
I was
point.
half sleeping. Yeah, because there was a he appeared on whose channel? The owner of Aventi appeared on. I think Roman met him in Florida, and he gave an update within the last month or two in a short interview. So I'd have to check that to confirm.
But yeah.
So my
Also,
point being that, if you can get a tourbillon just to have that that experience and that movement and that complication at a lower price point would be something that would appeal to someone like me who is not going to spend six figures or more to have the tourbillon.
yeah, but again, how well are they built? What's the quality
Correct.
like? That plays a part, when you go
Yes,
towards
yes.
a tourbillon.
Yes,
Because you don't want it to
exactly.
exactly, get something that you're spending money on and it's not exactly what they say it is. And that's what I think Alex is saying.
Mhm,
That
mhm,
Yeah.
what they're saying and what they're delivering are two different things.
mhm.
Is that right, Alex?
If you see a true Swiss tourbillon, it's a different world. It's a bit like someone saying, "Hey, I've got a 4 carat diamond that's got so many inclusions in it and so many black spots in it, but it's 4 carats." And then you have a 4 carat diamond that's like internally flawless, triple X. Now, obviously, that diamond is much more expensive, but it's a better diamond. Aventi reminds me of the poor diamond. People are just saying, "Oh, I've got a tourbillon." Well, you haven't. It's a copy. It's not produced correctly. And in fairness, tourbillons are not even that accurate anyway. I mean, they were designed for pocket watches.
Right. They don't. Let me just ask you because what I understand is they do not really give you more accurate timekeeping. Like, or maybe it's marginally more accurate.
It's in theory, it's supposed to be more accurate because the escapement is constantly moving like this, and it counters out the errors. So it's constantly moving. Hence the reason why it's in a pocket watch.
Right. Understood.
But people say, so what? It's that we've got chronometer-rated movements now, but look, it's more of a flex. And the most cheapest true tourbillon, I believe, is the Tag Heuer.
And that being said, it's a flex. Sorry, Alex. And for that reason, if you're not spending the six figures on the tourbillon, you're not really flexing, right? If you get a tourbillon that's a little less expensive, you're like, I have a tourbillon, and it's like, oh, that's terrific, but it's not a Audemars Piguet, name your price, JLC, or some other high-end tourbillon watch, or I could go on and on, RM.
Yeah. I mean, you could get a Frank Muller gyro tourbillon, which is just out of this world, and I don't think
that's insane.
different.
Right. Value for money, right there, Frank Muller.
Is he still alive? He's still alive, right?
We don't know. He's alive or dead. We don't know where his whereabouts are unknown. But I don't want to say anything more on that.
Listen,
I could have fun with it. I don't know the man. This is just fun.
Muller's got an interesting life, I tell you that. He's ups and downs, left and right.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's more interesting than mine.
And mine included.
Mr. GMT and gentlemen, I've got to go.
I'm going to be ending it now anyway.
And it's been fantastic catching up. thanks everyone for joining in. And next show, I'll be home and be able to show some of those watches.
Oh yeah, perfect.
For sure.
I wanted to
it'll be
show.
awesome.
Hey, respectively.
Thank you, respectably. You take care. Stay sexy, brother. I got to say to you. And enjoy your weekend, my man.
I will, man.
Take care. Ciao.
Thank you.
Cheers.
You're saying, Cap?
Yes, I wanted to show Alex a little show and tell, but I am trying to set the right time on this piece because I just pulled it out of my watch
It's all right.
box.
No one will ever know because we're
I
in
know.
different time zones.
Well, you know what? Someone called me out on that on a stream once, and they're like, "Oh, your date's wrong, or I didn't screw down the crown." And I said, "Yeah, come on, give me a break."
Hang on, I'll put you on full screen, my man.
So this is what got me, I guess, into the hobby, if you will. Though I wouldn't say I was really collecting watches when I got this in 2000. I was more into kind of Rolex and I guess everything it represents or represented to me at the time. So this is the 16610 Submariner date with the Swiss only dial.
Wow.
And I wore
love
this
that watch. I love that watch.
Yep. As a young professional, I would wear this watch every day for at least 10 plus, maybe 15 years. And on any occasion for any. Did you
hear what Alex said?
I did. That's why, yes, I did.
Yeah.
And that's exactly why I brought it out, because it was like music to my ears. And I was thinking about, maybe trading or doing some sort of, I don't know, transaction with my current collection to get a kind of neo vintage or similar year Pepsi, perhaps, or something like that, like a Pepsi GMT, right? The 2000, yeah. I think it's the 16613, something like that. Terrible.
Maybe you should do that with your Bumblebee.
Oh, great call, GMT. That's exactly what I was thinking. The Bumblebee, or dare I say, maybe even this GMT, which I just got. Though I don't flip. I don't flip. I don't trade. I really don't do that at all. I keep my watches.
But now that you've enlightened us, Alex, I don't think a lot of us will be getting rid of our pre-ceramic Rolexes that out there.
No, don't. I mean, obviously, I keep saying condition. Then you've got to check for lost and stolen. If it comes with papers, fantastic. Don't buy the watch because it comes with papers and the condition is poor, because you don't wear the papers on a night out. You wear the watch.
That's right.
So don't be so anal on papers, and make sure that the papers are true papers and not fake papers or these.
Try buy from a dealer, man. You're better off buying from a second-hand dealer. You know that it's all been checked out, it's all sorted. You might pay a little bit more, but I think you're better off.
Perpetual time.
Exactly. Yeah. If you're in the UK, get it checked out by Perpetual Time. Alex, man, he's right here. Also,
say is that the Rolex cards on the newer style watches are heavily replicated, and that's we'll need about 4 to 5 hours to talk about that, because they're a problem. They're becoming a problem.
Really?
Yeah, because they heavily faked.
Wow. The funny thing is, Mike Kermit actually was he was a Asian, I think Hong Kong, which is a 888. You know how we've all got our numbers at the start of our thing? It's an actual 888 digit Submariner, 50th anniversary, which is awesome. So it actually gives it a little bit more value to the Asian market, which is great.
Well, that's, because they love the 8s, don't they?
Yeah, I got a 888 by accident. Didn't even realize it until I got it. So
they love their 8s as much as we love our Suvla.
Exactly, and we love our Suvla, that's for sure.
you put a number 8 within the Asian market, you go crazy, don't they?
Well, that's what the thing is. I think if I do put it up, which I never will, I don't think I'll ever sell it. I hope my kids don't ever sell it. But if it ever came to the point I needed to sell it, I know that I'll get a good, good margin on it. So that's a good reason for it too.
I don't want to
But,
sound like dramatic here or drastic, but I believe that the time of when the 300 SL Goldwing was around, people didn't appreciate it much.
yeah. They're right.
That time
Yes,
is still going to happen with the pre-ceramic Rolexes.
I
And
think so.
when it does, you're going to see crazy, crazy prices that people are going to ask in the next 10, 12 years. You watch.
For sure. But look, you know, it's inevitable. It's inevitable because what you can't have, and you can even see it, like say with the 70s, 80s, you know, Submariners, for example, they go through the roof now. You know, so it's just inevitable. The 80s and 90s, even the early 2000s ceramics are going to go through the roof eventually. It's just inevitable. You can see it within the history of the actual watches themselves. It just happens. It's just the way it is.
The only thing that didn't go up in price during the 80s is my father's Jennifer Rush CDs.
I wonder why.
I tell this to everybody. I grew up with my father having greyhounds, and he named each one of those greyhounds after the Jennifer Rush songs. Can you imagine?
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So we've
That's
got Ringo
crazy.
Eyes, Madonna's Eyes going down the track.
Do you know that I've actually got records from the 80s of Madonna's, Michael Jackson's, still immaculate, put away, just sitting there from the
vinyl?
80s? Vinyl.
Really?
Vinyl, yes. What do you reckon they'll be worth?
Fucking kleptomaniac you are, aren't you?
Well, look around me, man. Have you seen what's around me, Alex? Have you seen it?
Yeah, I've
just
seen
put me
it.
on-
How can I miss it?
Yeah, have a look at this. I'll put a different view on for you just so you can see it. There you go, my man.
This is giving me an anxiety attack. I'm seeing my OCD.
It's very strategically laid out. That's all I have to say about that. It's strategically laid out. But that's why I got right into my watches, because I was running out of room, Alex. So I said, "Fuck it, I got to collect something. I got to do something. I'm going to go mad." So it's what keeps me sane. You know what I mean?
At least
So
with
that's
my
why
whiskey, I can drink it.
I don't
Yeah, you risk it.
I'm not a collector.
I know you're not. I know.
No, I don't collect. I don't know. I just don't like things owning me. I like to own them.
I do. I own everything around me.
I guess there's a tipping point where it becomes goes the other way, right? It's kind of like if you borrow a lot amount, if you borrow from a bank, you know, at some point, if you borrow like billions of dollars, you know, who owns who at that point?
Yeah.
The borrower
Yeah,
owns
well,
the bank.
I just bought a house, and yeah, they own me.
They own you,
Oh, yeah.
right? But if you
They
borrow
own my
like,
house.
you know, ridiculous amounts more, you might own the bank because
Yeah, that's right. That's
Yep,
right.
Yep.
it
Yeah,
changes.
look, eventually someone owns something of yours. You know, it's just the way it is, man. It's just crazy.
I think what happened to me was when I did my WASTEP and did my graduation, my parents bought me an Omega Seamaster, and it had an imperfection on the dial, and it absolutely annoyed me, and it just really pissed me off.
Did you go on that loop? Did you put it on the loop and have a look at it, and that's what really got to you? What was it? Or could you just see it with your naked eye?
I could see it with my naked eye, but then I found myself looking under a loop, and I look back now and thinking I went through that for a reason, because I realized what it's like to let things really get to you. And now, as years gone by, I don't let that happen. And now I know how to control the situation when that happens, when someone comes in my workshop.
But that would still bug the shit out of me if I had a watch like that. And it would drive me insane.
But I think, I'm glad that happened, because I could see how people react.
Oh yeah.
Hey, Dodger, how are you?
Dodger, my man. Love you, brother. How you going? But in saying that, guys, I'm gonna call it. I've gone over the 1.5 hour mark. I try to keep it under the 1.5 hour. I am very blessed and honored to have the guest that I had tonight. Thank you so much. I had a few of the Aussie Watch boys. We had respectively late. We had almost on time. We had who else? We had Gary. We had Ken from Scotch Down Under. Check his channel out. We had Alex, the legend, the watchmaker, the guy that if you need any advice or anything, hit him up on his YouTube channel. Check his YouTube channel out. He's a wonderful man. He's honest. He won't lead you astray. So if you got any
And if you want to
questions,
chill
queries,
out and watch an awesome stream for 4 or 5 hours of watching Alex working on awesome movements.
oh yeah, he does that. He does that. Yes, that's for sure. And you know what? And when you used to do it on Marcelo's show, it was just wonderful to see. It's just something you don't get to see every day. It's not an everyday thing that us normal people, us that love the passion and love the hobby and love, we're passionate about it. We don't get to see it. And it's really nice that we actually did get to see that. And we can't thank you enough for that, Alex. Thank you so much. You know what I mean? But anyway, in saying that, I'd like to thank everybody, especially my captain that came in on his work hour and, gave us his time. I really do appreciate it, Cap. Thank you so much, my man. Love you, brother.
Yeah,
and
my
everyone
pleasure,
in
man.
the chat
Love you,
that came on and AMG, I know you stayed up late and I really do appreciate it, brother. Thank you so much. And everyone else, Design Atelier, everyone, all the usual suspects, Dodger, it's so many wonderful people that have joined. Ali G, hey, Ali came on. Shit. So the Sasquatch, what a legend. Love you, man. Thank you for popping on and showing your support. McLovin, Orange Groove. Oh man, there's so many. So thank you, everyone. I really do I'd like to thank everyone and say, have we got anyone? Okay, everyone's on. Okay, thank you and have a good evening. We should be doing one hopefully next week. I will be ending it with my famous ad from my little shop, and I hope you can join us next week, and I hope you enjoyed the show. Love you guys, and most importantly, the most important thing that will always make you feel good is stay sexy. If you stay sexy and you look in that mirror and you feel sexy and you look sexy, man, you'll always feel sexy. So remember that. So thank you guys. Love you. Thanks to everyone, and have a great weekend. Ciao.
Come and get it! 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 You won't regret it in 2022 at Tip Top Snack Bar!